Hello, my diamond painting divas. This is Roxanne back with an update and a whip and chat on my rainbow lady. Now, this is what I have done. I got bored here, so I went over here. I wanted to see what her hair was like. So isn't the colors beautiful, though? Look how bright. Now, this part down here, I kind of got bored with doing that because it's all lighter colors. And as you can see on the camera more so than here, this is an ice cream that she's got, an ice cream cone. Comes out really well on the camera, I must say. So, we're going to do a little bit of a whip and chat on it and see where it takes us. Here's another one of my kits. The other one is still filled with stuff from my other diamond painting that I'm doing. Another frog. So, let's see. We'll fill it according as we go. First things first, let's pick out a selection. I think I'm going to do a part of her hair right here. What do you think? Because that's like a little section there, isn't it? There we go. So let's start on that and see where that takes us. What do you think, guys? Okay, I want to line it up. Let's put on the light pad. So much better. Now, take out one of our squares. There we go. I can leave it like that. Okay, we can come over. That's there for when we need it. Let's have a look. What do we need first, guys? Let's go with a 7, I think. So how is everybody? Oh, wait now. I like to take this and put it into like another container just in case it falls. And then here's my number 7 so I don't forget what it is I'm doing. I'm off of work today. It's my day off. And so is tomorrow. So that's great. And it's certainly snowing out there. I don't think it was calling for it. But we certainly seem to have a lot. So now I'm hoping that my son-in-law's back in time to get my grandson. If not, I'll have to cut this a bit short. But I'm sure I'll find out. So I pick him up down at the end of the road. Or actually, Jason normally does it more so than me, because I'm not always home in time. So, what have we got here? 3. So, and that's only in, what, 10 minutes. I might have to just pause it and do it again, you know? Just continue on. But that's it. Last night, we had... Was it last night? No, I'm sorry. I believe it was the night before. We had some of the coldest temperatures. Oh my God. With the wind chill, we had minus 30. I don't remember ever having minus 30. I got to tell you, it's a first for me. I'm like, holy cow, Batman. My daughter didn't send Christian, her son, because it was just too cold. The risk of frostbite was, you know, up there. Now, in Labrador, which is another section of Newfoundland, we're all Newfoundland, of course, but they get way colder temperatures. I think they're closer to, some of it's bordering on Quebec. Their temperatures can be really, really cold. They actually, at the time that we had gotten with the wind chill minus 40, minus 30, they had, not counting the wind chill factor, minus 39. And then with the wind chill, I'm not sure. But it's like, oh my God. That's just crazy. Just crazy. I'd never be able to survive it. My husband says it's a different temperature, but people who live in those areas are used to, I guess, that type of cold. But that's frostbite cold, you know. To me, that would be totally crazy, for sure. It wouldn't be my cup of tea. I find it bad enough with the temperatures we get now. But that's it. What are you going to do? Some places have it. Really cold, cold temperatures. There we go. Put this one back. Maybe we'll try the H. What do you think? Seems to be a fairly big one. Is that the same color? Yeah, it is. Got another one here. But, yep. I got another couple of videos to put up for the haul I had gotten, for the huge Temu haul. So, won't be that much longer, and they'll be up as well. Yeah. Oh my goodness, you're not doing what I want you to do. What's up? Usually I don't have an issue like that. What's going on? Much better. Much better. Well, what's everybody been watching? I was just watching Mike there a few minutes ago on his channel. So he was doing a whip and chat with the, what's it called, yin and yang tigers? So it was pretty interesting, I must say. Sounds to me like he's soap operas up that way. In, I think it's England is where he's from. It's from the UK for sure. And they seem to be way more exciting soap operas. That's for sure. Some of the stuff going on in them. I says, holy cow. I guess I'd probably watch them then if they were that exciting too. Where's our 3? I know I just seen it. But that's it. I last night was watching a new one that was put up. It was called True Detective. I don't know if any of you have heard of it or seen it. But it had Jodie Foster into the one, apparently it's the 4th season or something. So Jodie Foster was, she's a producer into it as well as starring into it. And so I said, now, you know, it had been advertised steady. So I said, now I wants to see that. See what it's all about. And then, of course, with a name like True Detective, I figured perhaps it was a true story. But once I started watching so much, but I said, I don't know about that. Something seems really off with it. So anyway, I started to watch it. Now, it seems pretty good, but oh my God. Is there ever a lot of sex scenes in it? Now, to me, you don't need that to, you know, sell a movie. I'm not against it. Don't get me wrong. But please, slow it down. I just, maybe, you know, I thought about it after. All I had to do was, I suppose, go through those scenes, just speed it up. I'm not sure if I can with that one because it was on demand. And So that's what I'll have to try and do, because there are parts of it that are really interesting. I got to say, there's this woman into it that she had a guy, I don't know if it was a boyfriend, just a lover, what it was an older lady. And anyway, he died. We didn't realize he was dead till after, of course, a little while after. But anyway, she was out and she had cat a wolf or something like that. Now, this is done like up north. So anyway, she was there and she was dressing, let me put it that way, the fox. Getting ready. I don't know if they eat them or not, or just the fur, don't know. But anyway, she was in the middle of that. Next thing you seen this man just out from her. And this, like I said, this is up in the Arctic somewhere, right? Up north. And anyway, he was there. And no coat on, no boots on. I don't think he had any boots on or anything. Just had on the regular clothes. And here he was just doing, like, making, I don't know, almost like a type of a dance in slow motion. And so anyway, she looked at him. I think she called him Travis, I think it was. Travis, what are you doing here? And she'd say, Travis, what do you want? But there was something really off with it. You know, especially where he wasn't clothed or anything. So anyway, she went on into her house. Almost like just finished ignoring him. And then the scene cut to where she was inside her house at her sink or doing whatever. And she had a window there. And while she looked out, she could still see him. He was still there outside. So I'm like, okay, what's going on with this? And next thing you know, she had on her coat and jacket, and she was outside too. Okay, guys, I got to find out about my grandson, but I'll be right back. Hi, guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. I had to get my grandson down at the bus stop because my son-in-law is at a dental appointment. So, and then my daughter she's with her 3-year-old, or their 3-year-old. So, much easier for Nanny just to take the car and go down. Now, let me see if I can. Let's put another bit in here. Now, back to the story. Anyway, she put on her coat, she went outside, and of course, I think it was Travis or something like that, his name was. And she said to him, she said, what do you want? So then, like I said, there was the waving of the arms and everything again, and then he pointed in a certain direction. So she said, okay, and she followed him. And anyway, she followed him a good distance. And then next thing you know, he stops. And she looks at him. And he points off in a direction. The left hand was where he pointed. The left hand direction. So she just looked at him. And she said, okay. And then she went over to wherever it was. Next thing you know, they show the police and whoever there, and they showed what he was pointing to. What happened was, with this show, there was a research station there, and they were researching, taking, like, you know, the big chunks of ice and the cylinders of ice, right? And there was 7, maybe 8 different scientists, you know, in different fields there. So anyway, when they come to look, here were all of the, or at least it seemed like all of the scientists were there in different shapes and like their mouths open like they were screaming or what have we. And they were all frozen together, huddled like, you know, off in different shapes and everything else. So anyway, they got all the little tools and whatever to try and separate them. This was the police. And that's just to get down so far to try and see what was on the go, like what killed them or what was on the go. And apparently they were all nude. What significance that has, I don't know. But it was pretty horrific looking, like, you know. So anyway, when they were straightening up, now this is just a little town like in Alaska or wherever it was, right? And of course in this little town, they didn't have forensics or anything like that. So then they were there now, and you know, the chief, who was Jodie Foster, must say she was pretty rough, right? I never seen her acting on like that before, but holy cow. And she was saying, now, be very careful and whatever, you know, because it's all, you know, could be anything there to, you know, we could lose some of the, I don't know, some of the evidence or what have we. So anyway, never knew anything, but here's this fella, one of the police, anyway, comes up, he hears this crack and comes up with part of a fella's leg. And we're like, and she was there like, for the love of God. And mind you, she didn't use the words I'm using. But, so, and then all of a sudden, this was at the end of the first one, because there's only 2 there right now. And next thing you know, one of the bodies starts screaming. And holy cow. So when it went off of the first one, then it went on to the second one. And this guy then was into the hospital. They didn't show him, but he was into the hospital, they said, and frostbite on so much of the body and blah, blah, blah. So that was for that. And then there was this other lady there that was, she wasn't like the police chief or policeman in Jodie's department, but she was from something else. I'm not sure what it was, but she seemed like she was a cop to me. And the storyline went on with stuff about her too, and her mother. I believe her mother had some kind of psychological issues, right? And she had gotten her sister to come to this town or whatever, and her sister had some kind of psychological issues, but she said, I'm not like mom. I'm not like mom. You know, so I don't know what it was the woman had, but it did a flashback, and it looked horrific. And then with the poor little children there, right? Which was her and her sister. I says, oh my God, what am I watching? So, anyway, it's kind of shagged up, kind of rough, you know. But I'm just wondering now what's going on with why this happened, because at the time, one of the researchers were on their phone with, I guess, a loved one, whatever, recording it, or I don't know exactly. He was making a sandwich and showing his sandwich. And sorry, guys, I'm tired. And 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is what I need, and there's the 7. And anyway, never knew nothing, and it shows the guy behind him that was not facing him, but over a ways, and he was just shaking like he was having a seizure. And so anyway, he said to him, you know, he said his name, and he said, what's wrong? Well, and what came out of his mouth was, she's here. So I don't know, this almost seems more like a horror thing than any of the rest of them. And I'm not big on that. But, needless to say, I don't know. The interesting parts is, I don't know if it'll leave me to go back to it, and there's a lot more to it than that again. So they got to try and find out what happened. And apparently a few years before, there was a girl that was killed, and she had her tongue cut out, and she had this mark, almost like a circular thing on her head. It was like it was carved into her head, and one of the scientists had the exact same thing. So, I don't know. And I hope, guys, this conversation hasn't put you off. It's a bit different, isn't it? So if you want to see it, certainly go to True Detectives. And the fourth one was the one with Jodie Foster. Well, like I said, I never seen her in one quite like this before. Seen her in Silence of the Lamb, because, of course, she was fantastic in that, you know. But, so I said, you know, I'll give this a shot. I don't know if I'm putting it back on again, though, guys. What a different type of a movie, I got to say. But, that's what I was watching last night till about 12 o'clock. Ah. And it's like, you had to see it, but you didn't want to see it. I don't know. Oh, my God. I got to try and figure out something better. You never knows what you picks out, if it's good, bad, or ugly, right? But it was certainly different, I got to tell you. Now, I likes the ghost stories and the True Detectives and all that, you know, stuff that happens. I likes to see how they catches the killers or the serial killers or the whatever, and how they go about doing it, you know. Somehow or another, you'd like to think that you would think the same way and find out who was doing all this and everything else to solve the mystery. But, nope. That one is just, I don't know, a little off the rails for me. But like I said, where Mrs. apparently one of the women asked her, you know, she said, when did you start seeing the dead? And she said after the guy that she had seen died. And I don't know if he was the only one she seen. And like she said to the girl, she said, make sure that you know the difference between if they're trying to tell you something or if they're trying to hurt you in some way, you know. So, it was certainly different. Ooh, excuse me. So, that's what I was at. I think I wasted a couple of hours of my life. So I'll have to find something else, I guess, to watch, you know. There was another one on that I found a little bit interesting. What was it called? Excuse me. It had something to do with robots. The Creator. Have you guys heard of it? I don't even know what station it is on, because with everything I just go on demand and go through and find, or I'll go on, you know, Netflix or Prime or any of those to see what I like to look up. So, I don't know. but it looked like it was fairly good. But they were trying to wipe out, I think, all of the robots or AIs or whatever. I don't know, something had happened, but the thing of it is, it looks to me like one of the guys who created them, on the very front of it has a man stood up with a little girl, like a little AI, you know, the robot, let's put it that way, because they look like everyone else except for the sides of their heads and stuff like that. But I don't know. So I guess they were afraid of him. Something had happened or whatever. But I think that one might be good. Half reminds me of Star Wars, that type of a thing. You know, like a future reality or something like that. So, excuse me. The weather has been a bit on the cold side, as I've mentioned earlier. And, like, once again, it's still snowing out there. So, anyway, when I picked up my grandson at the bottom of the road, I went out and checked the mailbox to see if there was anything in there, because I still have some packages waiting to come. Now, brown cow. Let me see. Maybe I'll put some L's in here. But that's what I've been at besides work. And it's been a bit on the slippery side, of course. We know, hey, it's winter. I don't know where this tiredness come out of all of a sudden, but there it is, hey? What's everybody else been? What have you been watching? Something better than me, I hope. Okay. Yeah, the only reason why I put up that movie anyway was because Jodie Foster was into it. Because I like her movies, but I don't know. I wouldn't, if you were going to watch it, don't watch it around kids, that's for sure. That's like another movie that I really, really like. It's called Disturbia. It's an older one. Oh my God, I absolutely love it. I don't know how many times I'm after watching that. Now I gotta put a sticker on that. Do I have any of them up here, I wonder? Nope, I do not. So that'll have to wait. And I'll leave that one out. There we go. It's a lot of confetti, guys. Let's go back to the G, I suppose. Not a lot really in that, is there? But with Disturbia, what happens is this... It shows, like I said, it's an older movie, but it shows that this young fella is out fishing in the river with his father. And anyway, they're on their way back home, and was he driving, the young fella, or the father? I'm not sure, I can't remember. But anyway, one of them were, you know, they were laughing, having a good time driving home. And anyway, all of a sudden there was a truck right, they couldn't see anything. And it was going straight, and the truck just swerved to get out of the way. And here was a parked car that they couldn't see. It was the last second. So they got into an accident, and his father died. Which I didn't like, of course. So I showed him then in school and whatever. And here apparently what was after happening, he's, I don't know, could have been 6 months to a year later, I don't know. And he was in Spanish class. And while he was in Spanish class, it's like he wasn't really paying attention. He was a bit on the zoned outside. So his Spanish teacher, asked him something, and he had to reply in Spanish, and he couldn't do it or whatever, because he didn't even really hear the question. So, anyway, what happened there was the teacher came up to me and he said, "I don't know who you think you are," he said, "but you have to pay attention in class type thing, just because your father died." Well, that was it. He got up out of his seat and he punched the teacher in the mouth. Next thing it shows us is suspended, of course, and he's at the cop shop or wherever in front of the judge, and the judge put him on house arrest. So he had one of those ankle bracelet things. I'm sure everybody's seen them on TV. And so there was only so far even in his yard that he could go, So he had that on, and his mother was pretty disappointed in him and whatever, because of the way he had been getting on and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, he was there, and his mother had to pay for the incarceration, and blah, blah, blah. Well, listen to me, will you? I'm like the Count into Transylvania. Blah, blah, blah. That's one of the cartoons Ray is after watching. Oh, my God. So anyway, he's home there at that, and of course he's playing, Xbox, different games online. He's doing this, he's doing that, watching the TV, got food all over the place. He's not cleaning up. He's not doing anything within the house for his mother, and he got everything like in a pigsty. So anyway, his mother finally gets fed up. So she comes home and she says to him, now this is after, I don't know how long, a month, a few weeks, whatever. And anyway, she has it kind of out with him, and then she unplugs the TV. And anyway, he answers her back and he says, "Oh, how dramatic." And she says, "Do you want dramatic?" She cuts the cord on the TV. And then she tells him, she said, "I also canceled your Xbox subscription." So he couldn't do that anymore either. So then he, just so he wasn't too bored, I'm thinking, started doing some of the laundry and stuff. Well, oh my God, you should have seen the way he was shoving clothes in the washer and all this sort of stuff. And then he had to clean up, so he was really, really bored. So what he started doing then was he had a set of binoculars, and he went into his father's office, a place that he never went because he missed him so much, and was looking out the windows on all sides to see what the neighbors were at. So he had noticed, right, when one of his friends come over, he said, look, this is really interesting, just watch. So anyway, brought him over to the window, and he says, "Okay, Mr. Such and Such is going off to work." The wifey kisses him goodbye and everything, and he's not gone for too long. And then up comes a guy up to her door. She lets him in. She has the curtains open upstairs, and then here it was her tennis coach. and they were kissing and hugging. So he said, look, 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 see what's on the go here? And so he was showing the different things. And then there was another guy on the other side. And then he said, okay, so what's going on with him? He said, well, not much. He goes to work and he comes home. And sometimes he'll go out at night, but he comes home, then puts down the drapes, mows his lawn once or twice a week or whatever. It's like it was just kind of boring. And then they showed like the different neighbors, like one was doing this and one was doing that. Anyway, it was just too funny. He was really keeping himself occupied. And then he sees the thing on the TV. Okay, guys, we're getting there, aren't we? He sees the thing on the TV about this Mrs. going missing and blah, blah, blah. Here I am again, blah, 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 right? The count is back. So, he, anyway, he thought he had seen the very same girl's car into that boring neighbor's yard in the middle of the night. So, but now, next thing you knew, here was, the car was gone or whatever, and the lights were off next door. So he said, I don't know. So anyway, he was keeping an eye on him from there. And, but now this neighbor also noticed that he was watching him too. So then the girl next door who we started to fall for, they just moved in. Of course, they didn't want anything to do with him except for the girl because she obviously was incarcerated at home. He couldn't go anywhere. So, but guys, it's a good movie. I got to tell you, it really, really is. You should watch it. Once again, it's called Disturbia. First one I think of is it Rihanna? Rihanna sings it? Disturbia. I don't know now if she sings in this one, but it's a damn good movie. There's a lot more stuff happens after that. And I don't want to fool it for you just in case y'all want to see it. I don't know what type of movies y'all like, but that one's pretty good. It takes some twists and turns, guys. And I don't remember everything. Anyway, it's almost time here. It's going to be a little bit of a long one, I'm afraid. It's me talking about movies. If anybody got any suggestions about any good movies, just let me know. It would be nice to know of some. Because I'm always looking for something, that's for sure. Is that it for the Fs? I think so. Okay, guys, I think that's about it. I'll finish this off now when I'm off screen. I'll give you another look now to see where we're to with my rainbow lady. She's not as colorful as the others, this I know. Wait, now I'll see if that makes it any better. And this is where I've still got to finish right here. Isn't it sparkly? I love it. There she is, guys. Thank you for watching, and I hope I've kept you all company and entertained for a little bit. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, share. If you subscribe, it doesn't cost you a cent, and it certainly helps my channel. Thank you so much, and bye for now.